The topic for the present video is bioavailability of the drugs. In this video, we are going to understand regarding the factors, types and importance of this bioavailability. As a pharma professional, we should always understand the bioavailability. We should know the terminology in detail. So let's start with the video. Bioavailability of the drugs. Always know that bioavailability is the amount of the drug which reaches the systemic circulation or which reaches the blood. It is very simple meaning of the bioavailability. If the dose is administered as 100 mg and if only 50% is reaching to the bloodstream or plasma or systemic circulation, then you can say that bioavailability is 50%. Now see the definition. Bioavailability refers to the percentage of or concentration, or you can say amount of the drug that reaches systemic circulation and is available at the site of action. And drugs bioavailability is required and is essential for achieving the therapeutic effect. As we know that the drug has two kinetics, pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. So pharmacokinetics are absorption, distribution, metabolism and elimination. And after this pharmacokinetics, the term is pharmacodynamics. That is the effect of the drugs onto the body. Pharmacokinetics is what happens to the drug after administration, and pharmacodynamics is what happens to the body after drug administration. So, after pharmacokinetics, we should know the pharmacodynamics of the drug. Bioavailability is dependent onto the pharmacokinetics, and bioavailability has impact onto pharmacodynamics. If we administer the drug by intravenous route, IV route, then the drug will be 100% available in the blood. That's why it is called as 100% bioavailability by the IV administration. Now see the types of bioavailability. One is absolute bioavailability denoted by F. So absolute bioavailability IV route is a reference standard for this, and 100% bioavailability can be achieved. Relative bioavailability is compared to the non-IV dosage forms. So if you compare oral administration bioavailability versus the IV bioavailability, then it can be said that it is relatively bioavailable, or the amount is called as relative bioavailability of the molecule. If you are administering the formulation through IV route, another formulation through oral route with the same concentration and dose, so IV route will give you 100% bioavailability, while oral dose bioavailability will depend on many factors. Generally, oral bioavailability is less compared to the IV route. Bioequivalence is the term when two or more drugs with the same composition show statistically similar effects. So you can compare different formulations like oral suspension versus oral tablet or capsule, and you can check the bioavailability of these two formulations through same route and check the bioequivalence, whether both the formulations are able to deliver the drug at same concentration or not. That is the main aim of bioequivalence study. Factors affecting bioavailability. Many factors are there. These factors you can categorize as related to the API, related to formulation, and related to the pharmacokinetics, and related to the physiology. Factors affecting bioavailability are physicochemical properties of the drug, dosage form, manufacturing variables. If oral formulation is there, then disintegration and dissolution rates and biological factors. Physicochemical properties, drug state. So if drug is available in solution or suspension, it will be more bioavailable compared to the solids, oral solids. Particle size, smaller particle size will be having higher surface area, higher solubility, higher dissolution, and higher absorption. So particle size impacts the bioavailability. pK and ionization. Non-ionized forms are better absorbed compared to the ionized forms. Non-ionized forms are higher soluble with lipids, or they have high lipid solubility. That's why these are better absorbed. Physicochemical properties, partition coefficient is there. So higher coefficient, better lipid solubility and will be bioavailable at a higher concentration, or it will show higher bioavailability. Route of administration, IV has highest bioavailability, then sublingual, then inhalation, and then oral. So you can say that oral administration will lead to lower bioavailability compared to inhalation, sublingual, and IV route. Plasma protein binding. If the drug is bound to the plasma proteins, it will be available for a longer time in the bloodstream, and that's why it will give you prolonged bioavailability. Then dosage form impact will be there. So depending on the formulation, you can categorize the bioavailability order, like solution will have higher bioavailability compared to suspension, powder, tablet, and capsule. Faster disintegration and dissolution will provide better absorption. Manufacturing variables can impact bioavailability, like excipients, binders, diluents, fillers affect the bioavailability. Example, calcium phosphate reduce the dissolution of tetracycline, because it is generally known that tetracycline binds to the calcium ions and leads to lower absorption. Also, binder concentration alters the disintegration time, dissolution rate, that's why affects the bioavailability. Slower disintegration will lead to lower bioavailability, and dissolution, if dissolution is faster, it will give you higher bioavailability. His biological factors like GI motility is there, first pass metabolism is there. So GI motility or peristalsis, you can say, faster motility will lead to lower absorption, and first pass metabolism will lead to lower bioavailability. Oral drugs go to liver, and then in liver they may get metabolized or inactivated before systemic circulation. So it will affect the bioavailability. Biological factors, GI flora, disease status. These are the factors. GIT flora, as some antibiotics affect gut flora, which impact the absorption. Disease state, conditions like renal failure, liver failure affect the drug absorption and bioavailability. In short, the factors which affects the pharmacokinetics of the drugs, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and elimination of the drug will have impact onto the bioavailability. Importance of the bioavailability studies. So these are required to ensure the safety and efficacy as per the regulatory authorities like FDA. It helps in formulation development for the new formulations and new drugs. Evaluates excipients, patients, and drug interactions. It monitors and quality control for the post-launch of the medicines. Compares different formulations and different manufacturers, like test formulation versus the reference formulation, or the solid oral formulation versus the liquid oral suspension required for generic formulation approval. So comparative bioavailability studies are called as bioequivalence studies, and these are must for the generic formulation to get approved in the regulated market like US, Europe, Canada, Japan, Brazil, and Europe. In conclusion, bioavailability is critical for the therapeutic effectiveness. It is influenced by various factors like physical, chemical, and biological factors. Bioavailability studies helps to ensure quality, consistency, and patient safety. So depending on to the bioavailability, different formulations can be developed and manufactured. This is the information and understanding about the bioavailability. Thank you very much for watching the video. I request you to do like, share and subscribe to this channel.